Yo, what is up, warriors? G'day. Hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we are going to discuss my top 10 things that I missed from my life before brain surgery. Before brain surgery and my brain tumor completely changed my life and affected my mobility, balance, strength, coordination, amongst other things. So I hope you're all doing well. I'd love to hear from some of the things that you missed. Chuck them in the comments below. I'd really like to get to know the community more instead of me just blurting down the camera at you guys. I'd love to hear from you as well. Things that you missed that you could do before surgery that you can't do now. Not to be a pity party or a poor me video, but just things that we all miss. It's we're all warriors. We've all been there. We're all going through it. And obviously there's stuff that we used to be able to do that we can't do now. Completely fine to be nostalgic and reminisce about those things. So here comes my list. And just to preface my list, for those of you tuning in to my videos for the first time, I am a personal trainer and I used to be a pretty serious athlete. And a lot of these things that I miss may seem crazy or weird to you. But obviously things that I miss from being an athlete and being a personal trainer will be scattered through this list. All right. Without boring you anymore, let's get on to number one. These are in no particular order, by the way. They're just things that came to my head when I was writing my list. So the number one thing I miss is running up and down staircases. I genuinely, wholeheartedly used to love running up and down staircases and using it as a bit of a combination or a way I would raise the intensity of my workouts. I used to do this a lot with training partners and small groups that I used to train at a gym. So I really, really miss the intensity, the coordination, and the endorphin bursts that I used to get from running up and down staircases. Since brain surgery, my balance and my coordination has been affected. I've now got ataxia. And yeah, this obviously makes it hard to walk up and down staircases, let alone run up and down. So yeah, number one is running up and down staircases, definitely. Number two, I miss skateboarding. I remember during my recovery journey, one of my friends wanted to try and get me back on a skateboard, and it was so incredibly difficult and I could not do it at all. A really big challenge. And yeah, it just showed how effective my balance has become because I literally couldn't even stand on the skateboard while he was holding me. Um, it is something that I miss from my past. I used to skateboard a lot growing up, and I would skateboard as an older adult just to kind of get around or just for a bit of fun on the weekends. And not anything too serious, but yeah, I do miss just being able to chuck a skateboard on the ground and run up to it and just jump on it and roll away. Obviously, the ataxia and the balance and coordination issues I have definitely put up that I do want to get back to eventually. Who knows, I may or may not recover enough to do that. I've actually bought my son like a training skateboard. He's 18 months old, and I really want to get him into skateboarding, but also things that he wants to do to enjoy his functional movement, because you never know where your life's going to take you and when that may get taken away from you. It's not always a given or a God-given right. So yeah, I want to provide for my son all the things that I know I wish I could do, and yeah, functional movements and climbing and crawling and skateboarding is definitely one of those. So number three, this one might sound a bit peculiar, but my swallow got very heavily affected during brain surgery. Heavily enough that I actually couldn't eat or drink for 3 whole months. So the third thing I miss the most is I actually miss sculling water, like drinking water over and over and over repetitiously so I can get a lot of water in really quickly. Because at the moment, I can only take little tiny sips, and it is actually a challenge to get in enough water throughout my day. And sometimes I feel really fatigued or headachy because I'm dehydrated, because all I can do is take little tiny sips of my water bottle. Whereas before brain surgery, I could scull or neck or drink this entire thing back in one quite easily, and I would keep my hydration levels up quite a lot. So yeah, I definitely miss sculling water. Number four. Now, many of you are probably going to roll your eyes at this one. I miss burpees. As a personal trainer, as someone who used to like very hard functional workouts, I really miss the endorphin rush and that physical kind of high that burpees do give you, and that kind of, for lack of a better word, pain pit you would sit in after you do a really hard workout, and burpees would always be included. So yeah, I really miss burpees, and it was funny. So side tangent, a group of the people who used to go to my gym that were really close to me, as a fundraiser, an awareness fundraiser after my brain surgery, they all got together and they decided to do 1,000 burpees each to kind of like raise a bit of money and awareness around brain tumors and brain surgery for me, as a kind of a get well themed little fundraiser for me, which was really quite cool. So at the time, I couldn't even do one burpee. So I tried to kick off, they did a live stream on Facebook. I tried to kick off the event by me doing one burpee with them, and then followed it up with 999 burpees each. So yeah, shout out to those guys. You're all absolutely crazy. There was about 10 of you, and you all got through it. It took a very long time, I think nearly 2 hours, and there was sweat dripped all over the floor. And yeah, massive shout out to those guys for not only supporting me, but doing something absolutely physically challenging that most of us would find completely crazy. All right, the fifth thing I miss the most, I live in Australia, I live in Bondi, I've always lived near the ocean, and I really missed that feeling of diving into the ocean. At the moment, my left arm is very challenged, it's quite weak and uncoordinated, so diving and swimming is very, very hard. So diving out in a raging ocean or under waves isn't the best thing to do, because it's unsafe. If I got caught in a rip, or if I got caught in some really big swell, I wouldn't be able to swim out of it like I used to. So yeah, I miss that diving under a wave feeling, that really refreshing, satisfying thing you want to do on a hot day or after a big long day at work. You want to dive in the ocean and just freshen up and freshen off. So that's number 5. Number 6, I really miss playing football. And for those of you who are watching in America, I mean soccer. I've played football my entire life. I played it at a pretty high level. I was really good at indoor soccer, futsal. I actually represented my country for indoor soccer. And when I was 15, the team I was in actually won the national competition. So we were the best under 15 men's team in Australia at indoor soccer. I absolutely miss football. I miss the agility, the changing directions, the coordination, the power, the teamwork, the camaraderie, the good fun exercise, even though it's a fun game. I'm absolutely obsessed with football and I watch it religiously. And my team, sadly to say, is Chelsea. We're not having the best run at the moment, but we will come good. But yeah, I'm massively obsessed with football. It's a big part of my life and I really do miss it. And I've recently put my son into his first football lesson two weeks ago. So hopefully he grows to love it as much as I do. But if he doesn't, he wants to do other sports or other interests or art or whatever, completely fine. But it's definitely one massive thing I missed from my life before brain surgery. Number 7, I miss running through the streets. So I used to do a lot of marathons and ultra marathons. Running was a big part of my life. I was always good at cross country as a high school kid, and then I pursued the long distance running well after my high school days were over and into my career as a PT. And yeah, I used to do a lot of running through the streets along the beach, and I just can't do that now because my coordination of my running is very, very, very challenged, and my peripheral vision and turning to see where I'm going has been greatly affected from my ataxia and from brain surgery. So yeah, like I literally couldn't run through the streets if I tried. If someone put a gun to my head or there was a burning building, I could run, but it wouldn't be safe because I'd eventually hit someone or run into a pole or some oncoming traffic. So I really miss that urban running and running through the streets. And here in Australia at the moment, as around the world, run clubs and running is really on trend at the moment. It's a big boom. And I used to have my own run club back in the day, and I really miss running, that meditative, just zone out of once you get into your rhythm, just running for a long period of time. I used to love running in the rain. I used to love running in the heat. I just used to love running so much, and I really do miss that. It is something I do want to get back to. I do attempt to run on the sand at the beach because if I do fall over, it doesn't hurt. and there's no oncoming vehicles on the beach. So yeah, I do run, but it's not pretty and it's not fast and it's not fluid or smooth. Um, but yeah, it's something that I do miss, and a long term goal of mine is to get back to a long distance running event in the future, and it will be a goal of mine for sure. Now, number 8 will sound like a bit of a weird one. I miss juggling. I miss the actual ability to juggle 3 balls or 3 pieces of paper or 3 pieces of fruit or whatever it is. I used to juggle a fair bit when I was in my office, and it would help me think. I would always have 3 tennis balls in my drawer, both at home and at work, and I would sit there and I would just juggle 3 balls while I would think. My ataxia has really caused severe challenges in my left hand, and the catch and throw synchronicity of juggling has been very, very hampered to the fact where I can't do it at the moment. Um, it is something I will try to continue to try and do in the future to improve my rehab, but it's definitely something that I can't do right now. And who knows, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the track, I might be able to do it. Number 9, I miss riding a bike. I have not ridden a bike since brain surgery. Just the whole balance and the timing of the pedaling, with especially my left foot. I do cycle on stationary bikes at the gym, but going out onto the road or a promenade or a footpath with an actual bike is not only dangerous for me, but other pedestrians and oncoming traffic as well. So I never would want to put that pressure on anyone else. Just because, yeah, my balance and coordination's out of sync, and yeah, my pedaling is also out of sync. My left foot I have not much control over, so it would just shoot off the pedal as it is. And here we are, number 10. Probably my most missed thing since brain surgery from my old life. So I really, really, really miss having a really hard workout with friends and small groups of people at my gym. I know that might sound crazy to many of you, and many of you brain tumor warriors out there may be able to do this, but my fatigue and my lack of coordination really hampers and challenges me to the point where I can't go and have that hard workout. And for those of you who do have hard workouts, know that pain pit I refer to, and that really severe but nice place to get yourself into in a hard workout where you're sweating, your heart rate's really, really high. It was really, really physically and mentally challenging, but the satisfaction of completing it was just really, 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 really satisfying. And yeah, I can't do that at the moment. I have tried many times, but when I go for a really severely hard workout, I end up burning out and I'm on the couch for 2 or 3 weeks. And having a fiance and a son and a life and a career, it's not fair to anyone. So the joy I would get out of that 30 minutes or that 1 hour of really going hard wouldn't make up for the fact that I would be kind of helpless or burnt out for the next 2 weeks for my loved ones and my colleagues. So guys, that's my top 10. I'd love to hear from you what you miss the most from your past life since having brain surgery. And I'd also like to hear from you of things you missed, but you can now also do. Because this list of things are goals that I do want to achieve in the future. I'm not giving up on them. I feel like our journey and our recovery it's not linear, but it's also not ended. And I feel like I can achieve some of these. So these are not only things that I missed from my past life, but are goals for my new life. So I'd love to hear from you what you missed the most from your past and things that you couldn't do after brain surgery that you can do now. Alrighty guys, I'm going to wrap up the video by sending out my positive vibes to anyone going through chemo, radiation, or treatment, or any of you who are getting an MRI and a follow-up with your surgeon. I wish you nothing but the best and sending positive vibes for some good news. Alrighty guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace!